What is going on, guys? Today we are going to be talking... Oh, didn't explode that time. We're going to be talking about Gear 12 and who you should take. So, let's jump in.
Hello there.
So, General Kenobi is not the best Gear 12 in terms of improvement, but he's one of the characters that if I were starting this game, I would have a goal to get to Gear 12 from the get-go. He's one of the most useful characters in the game. He's really viable as a Jedi at Galactic Republic. If he had a ship, he'd be higher, but you have to have him Gear 12. You have to Gear 12 him.
You pay the price for your lack of vision.
A little bit more important is Emperor Palpatine. Emperor Palpatine also has a better health jump from Gear 11 to Gear 12. That's really important. He can play a role in Sith teams. He can be a leader in his own Sith team. He's an Empire, which is awesome for Phase 6 Dark Side territory battles, which is the only phase that matters. All around, great character. Had his time in Arena, now is more of a Grand Arena territory war type character. But I would highly recommend Gear 12ing him if you can.
I'm Bosc, and this is Latsurazi. We're bounty hunters.
Now, Bosc, I wanted to put higher. Bosc is an absolute monster. He's changed bounty hunters. He is great in territory wars. He's got an awesome ship, Houndstooth. It's notorious. It kind of changed the game, probably for the worse. But it's still cool. He's really fun to use. He's got a nice taunt with Frenzy, which is really neat. You know, like Grand Arena, territory wars, territory battles, Dark Side. Not as much use, but still decent if you're doing contracts like myself with IG-88. Bosc is awesome. His leader ability is awesome. It helps survivability for the bounty hunter faction as a whole. So definitely Gear 12 Bosc if you can. I put Emphas Nest at number 7. That's a little risky considering I don't have her at Gear 12. I put a lot of health on her. When I fight Ewoks in Grand Arena, that helps a lot. She is really powerful with her sudden impact. She can do a high amount of damage if you mod her for crit damage on the triangle. Gear 12 just adds to that survivability so people can't just one-shot right through her. She is awesome for the counterattack, for the avoiding taunt, and if you mod her, you want to mod her for high health, low speed. You don't want her to go very often because she's going to counter a lot and that's just going to fuel her protection. If you want to win in Grand Arena, definitely work Emphas Nest. And then in Territory Wars, whenever there's an Emphas Nest on the team that's Gear 12, it's always a pain to take out. You have to use, you make your opponents take characters in to take her out. It's kind of a good investment. So a little bit more useful than Bosc, but I'd say they're pretty much even because Bosc's got the ship and Bosc is Bosc, and I love him.
Yes, I bet you have. Sorry about the mess.
I put Han at number 6. Han is great Gear 12. He's got the extra med pack, which will help him boost. But really, when you think about Han, in the end game, he has Chewbacca with him. And Han won't really get attacked when Chewbacca's around. Most people will not go for Han. So Han's health isn't that big of a factor in his overall usage in the game. Once Chewbacca is down, then Han becomes exposed and then people can suddenly take him out. It helps to have that health on him. It helps to have high DPS for Han if you're using him because he hits like a mother trucker. Gear 11 to Gear 12 makes a big difference with his DPS and health. So I would Gear 12 Han. If you're not Gear 12 and Han, I don't know what to say. Your Rebel team depth is awesome if you have Han to Gear 12.
Your future will come of its own accord, trust me. Sometimes navel-gazing at it doesn't get you anywhere.
Jolee is a pain in the butt. His Don't Interrupt Me unique of having 100% tenacity is a pain. Gear 12, he becomes really hard to take out, especially with that tenacity and critical avoidance. Overall, if you mod him correctly, he will be an absolute pain to take out, and he's the crux of Revan teams in today's meta. One of the cruxes, there's really two. But if he revives, or if all the Jedi are wiped out and he revives, and then Revan throws his blade and then gives whoever 100% turn meter, I mean, it can just spiral out of control. Jolee is the man, and he's annoying, and I hate him, but you have to Gear 12 him if you want to be relevant in the meta. If you're Gear 11ing him, he's fine, but everybody who's anybody is going to attack you and punish you for not Gear 12ing him. So definitely Gear 12 him.
The Force is with you, young Skywalker.
but you are not a Jedi yet.
CLS, you know, it doesn't make too much of a difference. He's got an extra med pack as well. It's more of a just CLS is so useful, how can you not Gear 12 him type of dealio. He's great in all aspects of the game: territory wars, territory battles, Grand Arena, Sith Raid, not so much. I mean, he's fine. Overall, just a great character. Also, if you notice, sometimes when you're fighting rebel teams, sometimes CLS can be like the last man standing. I just say Gear 12 him. Make the guys who you're fighting in territory wars really work to beat that entire rebel team, because sometimes he'll manage to survive and he can become a big pain for a lot of characters. Number 3 is Grandmaster Yoda. Grandmaster Yoda gains a huge health pool. His speed is critical for him and getting buffs quickly and moving before the enemy. If you don't have a Gear 12 Yoda, your Yoda will get cleaned in today's meta. You will literally, I mean, you need Yoda Gear 12. You need him as fast as he can possibly be, and you also need him to hit hard. I mean, hard. Yoda Gear 12 all day. If you're not, you're missing out. I don't know what else to tell you. Chewbacca is the crux of the rebel team. He is the, who am I going to go for? Oh, I got to take out Chewbacca to get everybody else's guard down. If you're going to Gear 12 anybody on the rebel team, you got to Gear 12 Chewbacca. Chewbacca provides that extra protection for your team. He is great. I love his loyal friend and Raging Wookiee uniques. They're both awesome with the bonus attacks for whoever's guarded. I love that. I think if you have him Gear 12, you're going to get the most bang for your buck in terms of survivability. He's got a buff Dispel for the enemies, which is really cool, Pulverize. And I just think that if you have him Gear 12, he's going to be a lot harder for enemies to take out, which will buy your rebel team more time to take out whoever it is they're fighting. So you definitely want to give him Gear 12 and push him almost all the way to max if you can.
You were so young when you survived the Clone War. No wonder you're as equipped in spirit to fight as well as you do.
How can you debate number 1? Number 1 is Thrawn. Thrawn, the reason why I have Thrawn number 1, ship, he's OP. I mean, the fact that he can take out anybody in the game and still be in it is great. Now, I wish he had more health. Sometimes I feel like if you're on defense, he's quite easy to handle, assuming he fractures the wrong person, or if he just fractures somebody but you can manage to get him out of there, he's not that great. So, but I still think if you're Gear 12ing anybody, it should be Thrawn first. Thrawn, once you get him for Phoenix, start working on him. He's great for any teams for a long period of time, and he's also the most useful. He can be thrown anywhere. You don't have a 5th? Thrawn. If you want a 5th guy for fun, Thrawn. And sometimes he seems so valuable, you just don't even want to use him. You just want to hold on to him forever. So, that is my list of top 10 people you should have Gear 12. Let's get to the honorable mentions. Ezra was an honorable mention for me. I love Ezra, but he's great for a Phoenix battle. He's great as a Jedi, a Rebel. He's not quite there at the top 10. You need to have him Gear 12. He works fine at Gear 11. I don't think he's as important as I wish he was. A similar character is Nihilus. Nihilus is great at Gear 11. He doesn't really need the Gear 12. He needs a stun gun to get to Gear 12, but he doesn't need the Gear 12, though. He's fine without it. I've got a special guest here who's going to talk about Jedi Training Rey.
I tried sex with Jedi Training Rey.
Hopefully Mobile's okay with that. But really, though, Jedi Training Rey didn't make the list either. Jedi Training Rey has kind of lost her touch. She's great against bounty hunter teams in Grand Arena and Territory Wars. She's not a priority for Gear 12. I wouldn't go all, I mean, you can get her at Gear 11 and be fine. You can settle at Gear 11. A lot of people are probably saying, Cam, what in the world are you thinking? You don't want me to Gear 12 Revan. I do want you to Gear 12 Revan. I think Gear 12ing General Kenobi and Jolie and Grandmaster Yoda are more important than Gear 12ing Revan. Revan is great. Revan is great. You want him to be as fast as he possibly can be so he can get marked up first with direct focus, but he's not a necessity to get to Gear 12 to get the most out of him for most people. If you have him Gear 11, you might get picked on. The difference is not that big. Fight me in the comments. I'm all for it. I just want to hear what you guys think, but I personally, after playing with him for a while, I've realized maybe it wasn't the best idea to Gear 12 him. And then lastly, my last honorable mentions will be Admiral Akbar because of ships. Han Solo, Chewbacca, both in the top 10, have the Millennium Falcon. If you've got your Admiral Akbar to Gear 12, your ship's team will be unstoppable. So perks of Admiral Akbar being Gear 12, that's why I have him on my favorites here. And then lastly, General Veers. If you're not working on your Imperial Troopers, I really wish you would. Imperial Troopers are underrated. They're useful. Dark Side Territory Battles, awesome. Attacking in Grand Arena Territory Wars, awesome. Not quite there for Arena, never will be. But Range Troopers added a lot of help. If you get Veers to Gear 12, his survivability will be huge. I love Imperial Troopers, so I think getting him to Gear 12 is a decent strategy once you have the other top 10 Gear 12 out. So that wraps it up for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please drop a like. Mobile Gamer, if you're watching this, buddy, I love you. But don't say sex on your videos again, because you will get punished. I will make fun of you. Really, though, thanks so much for watching, guys. I appreciate it. See you in the next one.